This is Chris on the road again. I'm on a Coast Guard cutter Alder. It's a buoy tender here in Coast Guard Days, or the Coast Guard celebration here in Grand Haven, Michigan. And it's a bridge. A bit more sophisticated than a bridge back in my day. And we actually had a helm, a wheel that you would turn. Everything's computerized now.
That's why Mom should be careful. Oh, look at it.
It feels good up here. It's nice AC. You got to keep the electronics at a certain temperature, I believe like 72 degrees. Hot outside. And just kind of walking around. I'll look for somebody to chat with in a bit. Somebody lets me interview them. Just off chance came here. They have it's this town, they call it Coast Guard City, USA. And if you ask anybody that lives here where they live, they'll say Coast Guard City, USA. Once a year they have the largest celebration of the Coast Guard celebration in the country. And actually on Saturday here they expect over 300,000 people. And they have parades, carnivals, bands, everything. It goes on for a full week. And during the full week, you're looking at 1 million plus people. It's like 100,000 a day during the week, and then on weekends, like 300,000 during the day. And so they're giving us a tour here. Here's a guy who's talking about an icebreaker now. The Mackinac, which was back in my day was the lake breaker, and then the West Wind was a polar breaker. When I was on, we go up to Arctic, and the Mackinac stayed on the lake. Excuse me. Like the stateroom. So were you talking about the Mackinac icebreaker? Are you talking to those folks?
That picture is this ship.
Oh.
The one in there up on the windrow.
Oh, okay. What were you talking about? Breaking ice, going up on ice? I was on the West Wind out in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Way back, and it was a polar breaker. And then they had a Mackinac on the lake, which broke, indigenous to the lake, broke the ice in the lake. So we were spending like 4 days to get out to the Atlantic through the locking system. Mm-hmm. And then I went on one North Patrol with them. And then I went to the Coast Guard cutter Ingham out of Churchland, next to Portsmouth, across the bay from Norfolk. Now it's a museum in Key West, Florida. And so I'm going around the country, motorcycle trip. I just happened to come here, going through here, and caught wind of this celebration, and stopped in here and thought I'd take a tour. I always heard that everybody always says the buoy tenders back in the day had the best food. Is that true? I mean, for ships?
I have no idea. I'm not on this one.
Oh, you're auxiliary guy.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not in Florida. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida.
Really?
So, I'm here just to give the crew.
Oh, cool. So yeah, I interviewed some Coast Guard auxiliary guys down for Tall Ship Days when I was in Green Bay, going through there, help support that. Jacksonville. Are you from Jacksonville originally?
No, actually, I'm a Chicago native.
Oh, how long you live in Jacksonville?
Well, I've lived there about 25 years.
Really? Both my dad and my biological mom and my stepmom were all born in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and my granddad. Yeah. My step grandmother, she's still alive. My stepmother's still alive, but she lives just before the bridge over to St. John's, where you go over and you got Riverwalk right there on the left. Mm-hmm. There's a high school, Episcopalian high school there, and she lives right behind a baseball field. It's got a house. You can see the river from her house. But,
well, we're neighbors. I live downtown.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I'm in the Springfield neighborhood, which is a historical.
Oh yeah, I love. I'm going down there on my trip. I haven't seen my folks in a long time, but a place I really like to go down there too is St. Augustine.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Isn't that beautiful town? Yeah, the ghost walks and all that. Yeah, it's kind of got its style. But the old fort and everything, yeah, it's kind of neat. And actually, that's the oldest city in the country. Not existing city, but it's the oldest city in the United States. But Jacksonville was, the Jaguars are doing good. I mean, she lives not. You can see the stadium from where she lives. So every time the Jaguars score a touchdown, house rumbles.
We hear it.
Do you?
I can't see it from the house, but we hear it.
How long have you been in the Coast Guard Auxiliary?
About 15 years.
15 years. Wow. And so, what brought you up here from Jacksonville? Is it to help this
I
event?
have some family up here, and it's nice to get out of the heat.
Oh, yeah.
So, and they're desperate for help up here. This festival is so undermanned, you couldn't believe it.
Well, they expect 300,000 people here on Saturday.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? Yeah.
A ship like this only has 20 or 25 crew, and they come in, they get a load of Bikini Beach, and they all want liberty, right?
Oh, yeah, day off. Yeah, you don't see many around. Yeah.
So they're dying to have folks like us come up.
Oh, I'm sure they go out. Yeah,
show.
their stars of the show. They go in town. They say they're Coast Guardsmen. Probably everybody's buying them stuff and everything. And I mean,
there's so few of them. Like I say, there'd be probably on this trip. There are probably only 20 people.
Yeah, so this was buoy tending it's a hard-working job. Yeah. But
and dangerous.
Yeah,
people don't realize how dangerous it is.
But a small ship too. I mean, I bet you got your. That's what they always say. That buoy tenders got the best food, at least, because they had a small gallery and a small crew. So they would get like premium steak and lobster and stuff like that. Then we got stuff called industrial foods on our ships called. The name of the company was called Sexton, SEXTON, and it was all just industrial. And like our shrimp is surf and turf day. I mean, the shrimp were it looked enormous, but if you took off the bread, it'd be like a popcorn shrimp that was flattened out and butterflied, coated in about an inch thick of bread and deep fried.
That was chicken nuggets.
That was basically yeah. So, what got you to volunteer for the auxiliary?
Actually, it was the hurricanes in Florida. So.
15 years ago.
Yeah, I got to. I used to be a lifeguard, and then it was a scenario where I'm widowed. I don't have any children.
Oh, okay.
And so it was I'll go.
It's usually
they fatigue these guys out. They're doing rescue 24 hours a day, and they need bodies. They're just worn out. So I thought, well, I'll volunteer for it. I got involved in what they call the heavy weather plan, which is hurricane preparedness. Then post-incident, you go out and check for oil, where maybe a boat is bashed up against a piling and it's spilling diesel fuel. We look for trees out in the channel.
Wow.
So we're trying to after the event clean things up. So after the rescue, and unfortunately sometimes recovery, then we're trying to make sure that look for environmental damage.
Oh, I'll bet. Yeah. Well,
and then beforehand, for example, my job was taking packets from the port captain to the marinas and yacht clubs, and in it our orders, which says we're going to have lock down the bridges at this day, this hour. So if you've got boats in here, you need to get them out of here. Get them out before then, because we're locking down the bridges so we can evacuate the islands.
So you got here before the storm, and Did you stay there? Were you there during the storm and after recovery? I mean,
that's how I got in.
Yeah, involved with it. Yeah.
Then I wormed my way into the Cutterman program.
What's that?
Which is, you get to serve on a cutter. And for me, that was sort of like, what do you want to do when you grow up? Be a fireman or something.
Wow,
I wanted to be on a cutter. And I got it on an 87-foot coastal patrol.
What?
87-foot coastal patrol.
Did you? So you got to go out on it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't do my sea ops. I didn't finish that. But I was in port, officer of the deck, so I'm the guy who, what comes in and what goes out. You know, I
That
kind
must
of
be
run
fun,
the ship
yeah,
while it's in port.
Yeah, the auxiliary guy I met in Tall Ship Toes, he referred to the Coast Guard auxiliary. The Coast Guard refers to him as a force multiplier.
Right.
So based on what you said, you know, people aren't aware that the Coast Guard has less than 35,000 active personnel, and there are more people in the New York City Police Department than there are in the entire United States Coast Guard, and yet they're responsible for so much. I mean, guarding the coast, search and rescue, law enforcement, you name it. And now it's under Homeland Security. Back in the day, when I was in it, it was under Department of Transportation. But it's, I mean, they're asking a whole heck of a lot. I mean, we used to underway 100-hour work weeks were the norm. And I was so, you know, I was a crispy critter burnt out after 4 years, you know, 3 years at sea.
You'd be surprised how many boats it'll say U.S. Coast Guard, but they're really auxiliary people. I have another uniform.
So you mean like you mean like skiffs and small boats that are out then, you know, they're fully.
In Jacksonville, we've got people, you know, on the 25-footers that are doing search and rescue or harbor patrol, and there'll be an auxiliary guy as that.
Really?
But the uniform says U.S. Coast Guard.
Oh, okay.
I was required to board
Isn't it
ship
something?
at one
Yeah,
that
yeah.
said Coast Guard, not auxiliary.
Yeah, it's something too. I mean, there's a lot of demand, and you know, there's not a lot like when we were in. Practically, imagine, you know, today they got new gear, but in my day it was Navy hand-me-downs or the ships. I mean, the ships are on or like ex-Navy ships and what have you. And even today, I mean, I was on an icebreaker. Right now, the Coast Guard's only got one polar breaker left, and they actually have to take parts from the other polar breaker that they shut down to keep it going. So they go on there and they lift parts off the old, they keep the other one nearby, and they lift parts off the other one to put on the one that still exists to keep it going. Now they got like 4 on the agenda that we're going to build because Russia's got a number of breakers up in the Arctic. So that kind of put.
Thank God with the new administration, they've got a new breaker on the way. So
Yeah, I think they're going to build. They got like 4 in the book, so they're planning on building again. I guess another class of breakers. Yeah.
What gets me is the environmentalists get stuck in Antarctica and we got to go get them. But then we're not going to fund the breakers.
How do you get there?
Wait a minute, we got to go get you guys.
Yeah.
How are we going to do this without an icebreaker?
Yeah. And I heard you describe how a breaker works. You're exactly right. If I overheard you correctly, you said when you break a field, and if you can't, the ice becomes too thick, then the engines they're heavy, they're like giant tugboats, you know. And then you push up onto the ice, and then the bilge, they shift the water back and forth. They wallow back and forth. The keel's like a football, so it facilitates that. And when they wallow back and forth, and then they break through the ice, then if that doesn't work, then they got a stash of dynamite and to blow themselves out of the ice, you know, as a last resort. Yeah, but that's the game plan when they go when a breaker goes through. So I'm glad to see that they're going to build some more. But yeah, I'm kind of partial to them. And then I was on the Ingham, and now it's actually the Ingham. You may want to look it up online. It's the highest decorated ship in the history of naval service. It's the only ship to get 2 presidential citations, and then also it's got 15 battle ribbons. It was in World War II and all this, and so it served for over 50 years. And that's why they made it the floating museum. There they have the Coast Guard wall on the quarterdeck. It said that 912 people have lost their lives in action in the Coast Guard there. So if you ever get a chance to go to Key West, and it's on my trip, I must stop by and take a tour of it. But
I had the pleasure of serving aboard it. So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Really? I spent 2.5 years active on it. I was a readyman. Yeah, I was on the West Wind out of Milwaukee over here, and then I went to Readyman School, Petaluma, and then they sent me to the Ingham, and it was out of Churchland, Virginia, which was next to Portsmouth, across the bay from Norfolk. We weren't even a drop in a bucket or a flea compared to a Buffalo when we would go by one of these aircraft carriers. It was it was incredible just getting out of those Navy ships. But so what'd you do on Ingham?
I just did security.
And where was this located?
It was at Station Mayport. It was down at the Mayport Naval base.
Oh, okay. This must have been prior to its decommissioning then?
No, it was. They do a winter tour.
Oh, there. Oh, okay.
So they'll go to the Virgin Islands or something.
Oh well, we pulled in for because we pulled in Mayport back in the day. For a few days. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Well, maybe how long ago was this?
Wasn't that long ago? Maybe 7 years ago.
Oh, okay, I'm talking the 80s. So Mayport would have been a stop along the way for us too. And the main supply place was San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, anyway. I'm going to go ahead and finish up this interview here. I'm talking to you, but that's amazing. A small world that you and I were on you went aboard the ship I was on, but that was a nice experience. And we were actually in St. Kitts for the first Independence Day of St. Kitts. We were U.S. presence in St. Kitts the day St. Kitts became a nation. They were a colony of Britain in the early 80s, and their first Independence Day was sometime in September. I forget which year, but we were there. That was quite a neat experience for a kid, but I enjoyed it. And your name again?
My name is Mark Hendricks.
Martin
Hendricks.
Oh, Matin Hendricks. There we go. A Coast Guard auxiliary guy from Chicago, and now lives in Jacksonville, Florida for 25 years. And it just happened to be aboard the ship I was on out of Mayport, Florida, which is there in Jacksonville, Florida. Is the coastal town that has the port of the shipping port there. It's been there forever. And check it out here. I'm going to check out the rest of the ship. And so cool. Got another interview for my channel, and that's Cross Country Outreach on YouTube. So glad to meet you, Mark, Mr. Hendricks.
Thank you.
I appreciate all your help and service to us, and our service to the Coast Guard. I may end up joining the Coast Guard auxiliary myself wherever I end up, but just for fun. I mean, it'd be interesting to kind of touch base again. But nice meeting you, and nice seeing this buoy tender here in for U.S. Coast Guard City, USA.
That's it, Grand Haven, Michigan.
There we go. The biggest celebration of the Coast Guard in the country. It is enormous. Anyway, have a great day, sir. Appreciate you.